Welcome to all. Let's continue with the session. So here we will see how exactly we can implement artificial intelligence concept in psychological modeling. Okay, so this is one of the important aspect or important area, I can say, where you can implement artificial intelligence concept. So it is one of the challenging one as well, because whenever we talk about the psychological, that means it should be including the brain also. So usually we say this kind of terminologies, or we use this kind of terminologies when we refer to a particular human being or human's brain, isn't it? So but when you want to apply this kind of concept for a machine, or one non-living thing, then it will be really a challenging one. Okay, a framework that combines neural processing, psychological modeling, and artificial intelligence application is processed as a means of making steady progress towards the resolution of the problem of Turing test. So ultimately they are trying to say that it is just combination, I can say. So if the framework, if it combines neural processing, one of the area where they go for some of the some of inputs or set of inputs which will provide the output based on some conditions. Next, psychological modeling is nothing but how exactly, see, as a human being, what are the steps we take, or whatever the decisions we consider, or the decisions we take. So based on that, some models can be built, based on the keeping in mind that concept. After keeping in mind, then only we can build a particular model which will take the appropriate decision based on the some of the scenarios. Okay, next, artificial intelligent, that is nothing but AI. That is nothing but if you want to give some decision taking capacity to the machine, then they can be said as artificial intelligent machines, isn't it? So that is one of the thing. Next, understanding the neural behavior, understanding psychological behavior, and developing useful AI systems. So ultimately they are talking about the entire modeling concept. Okay, by a principled process of integrating models from these domains, it is hoped that steady progress will be made on variety of research fronts, culminating with a system that can pass the Turing test. So based on the available inputs, or based on the scenarios, this particular model has to behave in a particular manner. So that is the main thing, because the whenever we talk about artificial intelligence concept, or whenever we talk about machine learning, or whenever we try to write a code where the system can take the appropriate decision, then challenges also will be more. Because in some of the cases, see, as we are not perfect as a human being, can even claim that you are perfect? No, it is not possible, because there are some loopholes in each and everything whatever we do. Even though we agree or not, there are some loopholes. Okay, so that means it is not a perfect thing. Whatever we do is not perfect, then we cannot take the perfect decision also sometimes, because there will be some problems from other end. We will never think about that part of the coin. So in such cases, how exactly we can teach a particular system to take the appropriate decision every time, isn't it? You cannot do that is the main reason why you don't get the 100% accuracy in some of the cases. Okay, there will be some loopholes, there will be some issues which has to be rectified, and which has to be, or the feature has to be enhanced to get the better approach, isn't it? Better approach where the system can take the appropriate decision. Okay, so these are the some of the information I just wanted to say. Now, see, there has to be some good way to develop the capacity to build a particular system. What are the considerations we have to consider to make a perfect system? So one is like human like components or simulated neurons. Okay, so how exactly our brain is made up of, and how exactly we as a human, how we take the decision, how we react to a particular situation, how neurons work in our body. The same case or the same scenario has to be implemented on the system also. So based on some codes, based on some programming language, based on some model, so that that system also can be able to take the perfect decision. That is one thing. The second thing is keep in touch with the reality is nothing but how exactly see, whenever we as a human, what we do, so each and every day we watch TV, we watch news feeds, we will take some short stories, we read newspapers, we go for some social networking site like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we get updated ourselves, isn't it? Each and every day we get new news, and we will take all those news in our brain, and we will keep or we will store it for our knowledge. In the same fashion, the system also should keep in touch with the reality. Each and every time it has to update itself, the new information has to be updated. Each and every day to day life information has to be updated, isn't it? That also one of the aspect which we have to consider when we go for artificial intelligence or the physical no sorry psychological modeling. Okay, now first one is, see, a solve problems like humans do, cognitive architecture. So how exactly we as a human being try to solve the problems, and then same thing has to be given to the system also. Second is develop interesting systems. So depending on the different scenarios, depending on the different environment where you have to implement the system, such separate kind of systems or separate set of systems can be built. The third one is integrate learning. So after integrating different domains or grabbing the information from the different domains, the system has to be very good at working, isn't it? So I can give some examples here. Say for example, you are trying to build a model which should be very attentive or very efficient, I can say, not just attentive, very efficient in cooking. Okay, if that is the case, cooking is one of the part of life, isn't it? It is just one part where, as a human being, okay, just leave about human being, you just take your mother itself. What are the works she do each and every day? She works like anything, isn't it? She has to take care of her children, she has to take care of the kitchen, she has to take care of entire home, she has to take care of, if she is working somewhere, she has to take care of the work also. The pressure will be more, isn't it? But she's a multitasking person. Is it in the same fashion when you go for some models, when you go for some artificially intelligent models or robots or any system? In that case, if one particular system is taught how exactly a particular cooking has to be done, at that time the system will be only concentrating on cooking, not the other things, isn't it? Say for example, if you are trying to talk or trying to interact with the particular system which will be trained or which is trained only to cook. Okay, now you are giving some input, or now you are asking that system to play cricket, whether it is possible, or you are asking the system to get the update of a particular news. Is it possible? No, because that system is only concentrating on cooking. And whatever the inputs you give, whatever the questions you ask about the cooking, it will be it will definitely give the answer to you. But what if you go for out of the box, or what if you go for some informations which is not relevant to that system? It may not give, isn't it? So that is the reason why in the third point they said that integrate learning. So it has to, all the domains or different domains has to be integrated, and all the information has to be fed to that particular system, so that system respond to you for each and every question whatever you ask. Okay, the fourth one is take advantage of emergent algorithms. So that is nothing but whatever the algorithms already there's so many developers have tried with the new algorithms, and based on that algorithms they have built some models which will take the appropriate decision and which will work on almost all the conditions. But even though some of the algorithms, I'm not saying, no, I'm not some of the, almost all the algorithms cannot claim that they are 100% accurate, or the accuracy given by that algorithms are perfect. No, no, 100% or cent%, we cannot say that. It is not possible, because everyone commits mistakes, and algorithm also makes some mistakes. Even algorithms also have loopholes. Okay, so each and every time the developers will go for a new algorithms which will help the developer to work on a particular model, or the algorithms which are implemented on a particular system that can be beneficial for the public also sometimes, isn't it? So like that, so it can take the advantage of emergent algorithms. That is the one thing. Next, there are a host of neural and psychological behaviors and models. It is relatively simple to build computational models that account for individual behaviors, but what is needed is a system that accounts for them all. So the individual behaviors or the computational model, it is easy because based on some conditions or based on some computations, a model can react to a particular scenario. But when you want to build some psychological behavior things or neural and psychological behavior models, then it will be very difficult, because that particular model has to take, or it has to take the decision from various parts or various branches of fields, isn't it? So that is one thing. Next, the developing interesting real world application is one of the key points of the framework. So when we talk about interesting real world applications, so real world application in the sense, see, if you want to build one model which will give the update of a day to day life, then that application is somewhat real world thing, isn't it? Because at what time you get up, what is the next step, and what are the schedules you have for the day, at what time you leave the home, which transportation media you take, or transportation mode you take, and at what time you reach to a particular destination, when you are coming back, what are the to do list of a particular day, what you have to bring from the market in the evening. So all these things has to be taken care. If that is the case, then it is a real world application, isn't it? So the developing interesting real world application means such kind of examples you can take. Okay. Next, systems that interact with the complex environments can begin to cope with those environments. So humans are good at coping with the range of environments. So for a system to be human like, it must also do like that. So as a human being, we adjust ourselves for different scenarios, isn't it? So sometimes if you don't get the breakfast, still it is okay for you, you will manage somehow. Or sometimes if you skip dinner, still it is okay. Sometimes you don't drink water for a longer duration, still it is okay. So you can adjust in the most of the scenarios and most of the cases. But when you talk about systems, it is not like that, because system is based on some data, system will work based on some conditions, system will work some based on some computations, system will work based on some scenarios you already feed to that, isn't it? Based on that scenarios, or based on that training set, whatever the data you have given to a particular system to test itself, based on that it will take some some decisions, or it may take some appropriate decisions, as well as whatever the day to day life ongoing things, that also will be taken care by the system with respect, if I really want to talk about artificial intelligence systems. Okay. So in the same case, the whatever the humans we do, the same thing has to be done by the system also, that or that model also. Okay. A system in a video game environment has been developed using the framework. So in a video game environment also, whatever the system you use, there also you will get some different thing of things, isn't it? Each and every times, or after a particular level, you get a separate map, and there will be a change of some more, if you are going for some games like shooting games, so different kind of guns will be there, different kind of positions you will have, different kind of maps you will have. So you can move that particular soldier to any directions. So it is a real time thing, isn't it? So that framework has to take care of it also. So they are giving some example with like video games and all. Okay. Next, learning is a key aspect of human neural and best AI systems. The framework places learning in a central position. Neurons in the brain connect via synapses, but to form complex networks. Okay, but in case of system, still we have some kind of networks, we have kind of data transmit transmitting from one particular channel to one particular source to one particular system. So or the transportation of between source to destination will be based on some media. So or it may be wireless or wired also. There will be some communication between two nodes, I can say, okay, over the network. So in the same fashion, whatever the things or whatever the AI implementation you do, again you should require some networks to transfer the data from one, or to exchange the data from one source to another system, or from one system to another system. So these are some of the things I just wanted to talk about, psychological modeling. Okay, so now you have one more thing, is how AI is helping to improve efficiency. So whenever we talk about artificial intelligence, how exactly it can improve the efficiency, or how can it help to improve the efficiency. Okay, so there are some points which you can consider. To analyze data and the reporting speed. Okay, AI can be very helpful in improving the data analyzing speed, and also to increase the reporting time. Data are analyzed more accurately, and the reporting time is also increased. AI can be used to analyze large amount of data to draw a conclusive report. Okay, just so they are trying to say that to analyze the data, so each and every data has to be analyzed before taking some decisions, isn't it? Because whenever you talk about data, any kind of data can be possible. Along with that, any the data which gives some a particular result which may not require to you, or it should be required to you, or it may require to you, I can say like that. So whenever we talk about data, it can be anything. Okay, it may be in any form. It may be a raw data, or meaningful data, or arranged data. Okay, so the model has to analyze the data. It is not like whatever you give it has to take. No, nothing like that. So if it is a age, it has to be age. If you are giving name, it has to be name, or series of characters. Or if it is a age, you should be restricting the age not below than 0 and not more than 120 max. Not even more than 100, but 120 max. Okay, so some restrictions you give. Whatever the data, if some user gives, means your system should not take. Say for example, a particular person say that his age is 251, whether your system has to take it or not. Your system should not take it. Your model should analyze that the data given by the user is not correct, because you cannot claim that one person is living up to 251 years, isn't it? Generally it is not possible. Okay, so that data has to be analyzed, and reporting speed means whatever the data analysis, or any kind of errors, or any aspects where the data is not correct, or the corrupted data you may get. So all those things has to be reported also, and it is one of the thing. Next thing is 24/7 service. Unlike humans, AI does not need to rest, and they can provide their service 24 hours a day. So this is direct comparison with the humans. Okay, so as a human being, we get tired. Okay, we get lazy, or we get we will sleep after some work, after some hectic work. Okay, so but machines will never do that. Machines, if you pass the energy, or if it is if it is having the battery, or perfect power supply, then system, without any problem, system will work. Okay, next, human can work up to a minimum time, and they cannot be consistent in their performance all day long. That is obvious, because we get tired, isn't it? It is not like in the morning session, the first hour, you may in particular hour, in 1 hour, you may take 4 pages of notes. But in the same case, last hour, can you take the same speed, with that particular speed, can you take 4 pages of data, or whatever? Can you write 4 pages in the last hour of a particular day? No, it is not possible, because you may get tired mentally as well as physically, after taking so many classes, after listening to so many classes, after taking so many notes, isn't it? So this, in the same case, it is problematic with the employees also, whenever you are working as a human being. But system will never bother. If you have some particular model, it will never bother, it will keep on working. Okay, next thing is, on the other hand, AI is essentially a machine that does not get tired or bored. The same thing I already said. It can work all day, giving the same performance and consistency throughout the whole day. This is one thing, one of the important aspect we can say. Next, automation of process. After the invention of AI, many of the complex processes have now been automated. So you would have seen so many factories where automation has already implemented, isn't it? So preparation of Colgate toothpaste, preparation of some pens, preparation of some uh, books or something like that, or paper cutting things, or coconut oil. If you want to take the oil, you just have to put. The manpower is very less required when you implement automation concept, isn't it? Okay, next, the thing is, there is no need for any human support to do those processes. Many of the microservices are automatically provided by the AI. The microservice example can be application deployment, which used to be a very tedious and boring task for the developers, and now it can be done easily with the help of AI. Okay, now microservices, like application deployment. So it is not just for application deployment. Microservices means you have so many services which are very mini services, where you don't need a particular developer to work on it or to, think on it, because he may waste the time, or he may get frustrated, or he may get bored. So to overcome from that, there are some AI models which will take care of these things. Okay, that is the thing they are trying to say there in the automation of process concept. Next, you have analytics. AI can be used widely in data analytics. AI is good at processing algorithms and use them to extract meaningful information from a very large sum of data. The business collects data on a large scale regularly, so they can be analyzed to develop better strategies to get more customers. So these data are very hard to be analyzed properly, as they contain a huge amount of information. So let me give direct information, direct example for this analytics concept. So they say that AI can be used widely in a data analytics, and they are talking about day-to-day life or day-to-day data which a particular company or particular place or particular scenario will produce. So let me take the example of your phone pay. Okay, phone pay is an application where usually you can scan and you buy clothes. Okay, now what you do, you go to some of the malls and you take out your phone and you start purchasing. And if in some cases, if the bill is 1200, what you do, you scan and pay. If that is the case, you don't have the cash and you scan and pay at that time. So what you think, okay, your work is done, you paid, and you with the with that particular cloth, you come out. In the same time, in the same second, same minute, same second, if someone is doing the same thing to some other merchants in, say for example, Uttar Pradesh, still it is one of the information, isn't it? It is one of the data. Like that, in 1000, oh, no, sorry, 130 to 135 crore of people, if they are initiating such kind of applications or opening such kind of application for the transaction, then there will be a huge data, isn't it? If those data has to be processed, means you can make use of AI to analyze the data. Okay, next, increase as security means AI is very helpful in increasing the security of a network, application, or website. So it is possible in case of network also, this AI can be implemented for the attackers, to keep the attackers away from the network, isn't it? Next, application and website also. Whatever the application you have installed or you are keeping, AI can be a better solution provider for the person who is trying to ask the question, isn't it? So that is also possible. In website also, there may be some sensitive informations which are flowing from one place to another place in your page, inside the showroom or service center. Then you have to rectify it. At that time, this AI, artificial intelligence concept, come into picture. If you have already built the model, so model will take care of it. You don't need to worry much on these things. Okay, next, AI can be used to enhance the protective measures in the network of the business. AI has revolutionized the cyber security industry, making the changes to process of cyber security and detecting the abnormalities in the network. So when you talk about cyber security, that is nothing but securing your data from the hackers, or securing your data or sensitive information separately, or keeping your particular data inside a particular locker which is unbreakable. So such kind of scenarios you can think of it when you talk about security in case of real time in a reality. But when you go for computers, or when you go for modeling, that time your data has to be preserved safely, means you can go for AI concept. That is the thing they are trying to say there. Next, providing better customer support. So AI is now used to provide the customer support to the users that are visiting the website of the business. So directly we will talk about the example itself. So in Geo application, you have my Geo, or in that application, or you would have seen there are some bots, AI, artificial intelligence bots. Their work is to provide some information to the needy people, those who are trying to access the food or access the a particular work, or they are trying, or they are waiting to done, or they are waiting to accomplish some work. At that time, this particular customer support, such kind of things will be helpful, isn't it? That a bot will be responding to you whatever the question you ask, or Google Assistant also, they are trying to give the assistance to you. Or in case of Royal Enfield also, we have separate assistance concept. So I'm giving all this example because AI can be the one of the field where it can provide the customer support efficiently, isn't it? So but it is essential to understand a proper balance between human and machine. That is main thing. Whenever whatever the code a particular person has done, it doesn't mean that it is exactly same as humans. It is not possible. Whatever the architecture, or whatever the speciality we have, we cannot implement that same speciality to a particular system or machine. That is not possible. But we can try to reach the perfection, I can say like that. There are certainly some limitations to AI when it comes to providing the customer support to the users. So there are not in just AI, in almost all the fields limitations will be there. That is the reason why I said there is nothing like perfect. Okay, so you cannot develop, or you cannot expect a perfect system from 10, say for example 10 to 15 imperfect developers. It is not possible. Even though they put their hard work, even though they put all the brain to a particular system, we cannot assure that it is 100% accurate. Okay, so these are some of the concepts I just wanted to discuss in this particular video. Let me wind up here. If you have any doubt, you definitely you can ask. Okay, thanks for watching.